In Jordan, we have around 80% of the people actually living in towns and villages, somewhere around 450, 460,000 people. We have another 100,000 living in Zaatari Camp, one of the biggest refugee camps in the world, and certainly the biggest refugee camp for the Syrian population who've had to leave Syria.
Can you describe the conditions of Zaatari Camp from when it was first established, you said in 2012, and now as we're in 2014, what have you seen change?
Everybody was living in tents initially. Now nearly everybody has a prefabricated container, which is like one room. There's 21,000 of the containers now being distributed. So it's become the fourth biggest city in Jordan from what was a patch of desert only a year and a half or a year and three quarters ago. There are around 600 shops of different sorts. They've reorganized themselves like the neighborhoods that they came from. So you see this reunification of extended families, of people from the villages, etc. There's this routine that's developed now. Zaatari got a lot of very bad press earlier in 2013 because of the violence, because of the difficulties in the communication between humanitarian and the people and the Jordanian authorities. Security has really improved now.
Can you explain the voucher system for people who might not know what the refugees use the vouchers for and how they obtain them?
We've been doing paper vouchers, essentially like a check, and you go once a month to a distribution point, and each family gets 2 checks to cover the month, which they can then take into the supermarkets and use to buy pretty much the food that they want. In the camp, we actually give 1 voucher per person, not per family, because they don't have the food storage, they don't have fridges and things like that. It gives them more chance to go and shop more regularly. We give essentially $34 per person per month.
How are the refugees feeling in Jordan?
They're frustrated, they're worried because all of them have still got family members and they've got their houses, maybe their farms, their livestock, whatever. In Syria, they don't know what's going on. There's a lot of very sad stories when you talk to people that they don't know what's happened to their husband who's gone back to check on the animals or the olive trees or whatever. But I think there's a fortitude. I think they are grateful for the shelter that Jordan has provided. We're seeing more and more children now coming to school as they realize that the children need to be educated, that they're not going to be able to go back to the schools in Syria. But underlying this, I think, is still a deeply held wish to go back. And many people have told me, for example, I would rather die in a tent in Syria than a palace in Jordan.